Good evening, everyone. I'm Lexi Nimitz.
And I'm Lauren Christie. Thanks for joining us.
Reporters Julia Florence and Manara Nani sat down with ETV alumni Tyler Madden to give us a look at life outside Eastern.
Hello, I'm Julia Florence here outside the Communication Building, also known as the old home of Steubenville, Ohio's newest rising star. I got the chance to interview ETV News alum Tyler Madden about his experiences since Eastern. Madden, a 2019 graduate of ECSU, took a call during an average, rainy midweek day while working an ETV Sports baseball game, and then would later realize that the 704 area code would be his very first career opportunity in the field of journalism. Flash forward to today, the former Manchester High School alum, Eastern Bachelor's graduate, and NBC Universal intern is now in his 10th month working for WTOV9, which is an NBC Fox affiliate-based news station in the town of Steubenville, Ohio. Madden reflects on his decision to moving out west.
When looking at our leadership group and what they have accomplished and our anchors and people that I knew I was going to be able to work with and speak with and talk to every single day, I think that's what I was expecting and hoping that I'd be able to get that guidance that I have gotten from them over these first 10 plus months. And so I think that we're going to keep going forward on that. But I think, I think we made the right choice coming out of Eastern to head out here to Steubenville.
From high school football coverage to the upcoming changes in infrastructure and planning to report on the next primary elections, Madden has his hands full in content across local issues and statewide decisions. No matter what the topic is, though,
those skills that I learned at Eastern of how to tell a story, how to connect with people, transfer over to what we do here is just maybe a little bit higher stakes now. But those key principles that I learned both at Manchester High School and at Eastern, I use them every day reporting here in the Ohio Valley.
And what key principles exactly?
It's a privilege and an honor to tell people stories when they let you tell maybe some of those tough stories and those challenges, those adversities that they faced. And so I think those principles, that's the main thing. Also with how to tell those stories in the most compelling way.
Although his own stories are now highlighted, Madden states his view on what receiving the award from the Ohio State Associated Press media editors meant to him as a team member.
I think of it as an award for all of us because we all try to help each other each and every day. And not only the five, me and the four other reporters that came in all last summer, but also to everybody that helps us look so good and help on television, our directors, producers, and just all our great staff. But I think of it as a kind of an award for all of us.
With less than a year under his belt, we are so proud of Tyler and all of his accomplishments thus far at WTOV9. From all of us here at the ETV News family, Tyler, we continue to wish you the best of luck and can't wait to see what else you have in store. We love learning from you. Outside the Comm Building on the campus of Eastern Connecticut State University, I'm Julie Florence with Manara Nani behind the camera reporting.
Earlier today, Terrence Chang, the president of the Connecticut State Colleges, came to visit Eastern and talked with current students. This marks the third visit from President Chang in the past year. Students had the opportunity to talk with the president about the state's budget, plans to increase enrollment, and the future plans for Eastern.
On March 31st, the Center for Internships and Career Development hosted a panel titled Creating Your Own Brand. This luncheon was hosted by various entrepreneurs across different fields. Topics discussed included business etiquette, branding, social media, and more. To stay up to date on various events hosted by the CICD during the semester, visit the Eastern website.
With high school students anxiously preparing for college in the fall, ETV News talked to current Eastern students and gathered advice for incoming freshmen.
I'm Fernando Geronimo reporting inside the Student Center, where admittance student events happen every week. We turn to the Eastern population to see their advice for those incoming first-year students. Bridget, what some advice do you give for the incoming first-year students?
For the incoming first-year students, I would suggest to get involved with the right people.
My advice is get involved. I know all the students are scared on whether or not they're going to make friends, so if you get involved in clubs, sports, or anything, you will be guaranteed to have a social circle in your first semester.
I would say to just manage your time well, make sure you're on top of your stuff, and just enjoy the moment, because you only get to do this one time.
Plan out your courses ahead of time. If you don't, things don't go well.
So the advice I would give is just be as active as possible. I joined men's rugby my freshman year, and it was one of the best decisions of my life. So just find some club that you vibe with and that you're going to have a good time enjoying and kind of being a part of, and kind of stick with it throughout your years of college.
I would say, although it's a little difficult, try to make a good connection with your teachers, or your professors rather, and they'll try to work with you as much as they can. If you just go in there, you look at your computer the entire class, they're not going to want to work with you, but if you make that effort to meet them, they'll try to meet you.
Some advice I would give would definitely be attend any events that you can that are on campus, and definitely get a job on campus. I work at the front desk at the Student Center and I love it, so that's the best advice I could give to you guys. Thank you.
I would say just try and get involved, like with clubs or any like club teams, or even going to like yoga or something like that. Just get involved, meet some people, like get around campus. That's the best way to get connections and have your best time at Eastern.
And I would say on the academic side is meeting with your advisor and making sure that you're taking the right classes and graduating in 4 years, within 4 years, and choosing a major that you'd want to focus on at Eastern.
To actually go to class and make some friends in class, because that's going to help you.
So I would tell freshmen to not be afraid to change your major, because you do not want to be stuck in something that you're not good at just because you feel forced to do it from family, friends, whatever the reason.
I'd say join women's rugby, also buy a planner and use that planner and use it well.
I'd say get involved with sports and clubs on campus and come to baseball games if you can.
I would tell them to just come in with an open mind, come ready to learn, and come to have fun.
With various responses from the Eastern population, including studying, getting involved, and networking, one thing is the most important is to just have fun. Reporting live inside the Student Center, I'm Fran Geronimo with Minar Nani behind the camera, sending it back to the studio.
This past week, Eastern Athletics sponsored a Donut Day to celebrate all student athletes for the NCAA Division III week. Athletes were able to stop by and grab a sweet treat, drinks, and hang out with other student athletes. Eastern Student Athlete Advisory Committee will host another Donut Day on May 6th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the Sports Center.
With the mask requirement no longer in effect on campus, Eastern has also dropped their dorm visitation policies. Residence halls are now open to all guests, including non-Eastern students. Students are encouraged to refer to their housing contract for the complete pre-COVID guest policies.
When we come back, Kaylee Roberts sits down with Christina Vontel for this week's edition of One on One. Don't go anywhere.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that after 75 years, Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Jules, spot me on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
We now have reporter Kaylee Roberts sitting down with an Eastern tour guide to give us an inside look at the admissions process. Hi, Kaylee.
Welcome to One on One. I'm Kaylee Roberts. Today I'm joined by Christina Vontel. Christina, thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
Christina is a first-year tour guide here at Eastern. With many accepted student decision days coming up, Christina has one of the most important jobs on campus: to communicate and inform the newest crowd of Eastern students. So, Christina, being a tour guide, you must have a lot of full circle moments in your job. Starting with you, what made you pick Eastern as a college?
I chose Eastern because I was a big fan of the liberal arts curriculum that we have here. I thought that it was a really great way of giving me a really well-rounded education as a student.
And how does it feel to have that power to be able to encourage students to coming to the school?
I feel very grateful that I get to do this. I feel that if I can help students make a decision that's going to play a big part in their life for years to come, that I'm just infinitely lucky to get to do what I do.
Yeah, and it's a big role to have. But what influenced you to become a tour guide in the first place?
I would say my biggest influence was probably from high school. I was a mentor for incoming freshman students, and I just loved it. It was something I was really lucky to be able to do to college.
And describe to me the process you had to endure in order to get this position.
It started with I talked to my bosses, some of the counselors in the office. They asked me questions just about my experience coming into Eastern, some of my experiences in high school, and then I went through training with some of my other tour guides who just kind of showed me around campus, taught me what I need to know, and taught me all the fun facts.
And do you think being a tour guide as a first year has its advantages since you're so close in age to the incoming and prospective students?
I think it definitely does. I feel like because I'm a first year student, a lot of other incoming students might grow from my experiences, learn from what I've had to do, and I feel like I can definitely talk to these students about what it was like for me coming in just because the timelines are so close.
Yeah, I mean, it's an overwhelming time in everyone's life, but I'm sure you do a great job at letting everyone know. And speaking of everything being overwhelming, do you ever feel any pressure when giving a tour?
I feel like sometimes there's definitely a bit of pressure trying to figure out what the students' interests are, trying to gauge what kind of things they might be interested in doing in college. So I definitely feel the pressure to make sure that I talk about the things I need to talk about with them. But overall, I've had a lot of positive experiences with a lot of incoming students.
And what kind of information do you have to be able to know when you're giving a tour to these families? Because I can imagine it's a lot that you have to talk about.
Definitely. It's definitely important to know the specifics of certain buildings and then to be prepared for any questions that they might ask. So just kind of knowing the fun facts of every building, knowing the behind the scenes work, knowing how everything is done. I think it's just being very specific about every place that we're showing.
And speaking of random facts, what is the most random fun fact you have learned from your job so far?
My favorite one that I always like to throw in on tour just because of the reactions I get is definitely that we have over 400,000 books in our library. I feel like that's always a really fun fact to start off every tour with.
It's a lot of books. And for any current or maybe future Eastern students out there, what advice would you give them if they were interested in becoming a tour guide?
I would say definitely try to do it. It's a very rewarding experience. I've met a lot of my closest friends through this job, and I feel like if it's something that you feel like you're actually really gonna like, it's definitely something you should go for.
And finally, what is something you would like the Eastern community to know?
I think that the Eastern community should know that they're doing amazing at this point in the semester, that we are all very close to the end, and that everybody has just been doing such a good job this year, and they should be very proud of that.
Of course, I totally agree. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We will be wishing you the best of luck as you continue giving tours to the future students of Eastern. This has been another edition of One-on-One. I'm Kaylee Roberts.
Thanks, Kaylee. Still ahead, we have the latest on the Sandy Hook defamation lawsuit and the message causing controversy in the classroom, this and more.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him, he's gotta come home with me. Not anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Lexi Nimitz. A 25-year-old woman in Waterbury, Connecticut, led police on a car chase for 25 miles before being arrested. During the pursuit, the suspect rammed into 6 police cruisers and injured 7 officers. The suspect had been wanted for dozens of car break-ins in the area. Investigators claim that she caused over $135,000 in damage during the chase.
Alex Jones, an American radio host in Austin, Texas, was sued for defamation by the families impacted in the Sandy Hook shooting. Jones claims on air that the shooting never happened. A Connecticut judge has called him in for questioning following the incident. Jones has finally complied after facing thousands of dollars in fines for each day he did not show up after the deposition. Jones posted a video claiming the families were demonizing him for his questioning of the official timeline of events.
Researchers say that microplastics have been found deep in the lungs of living humans for the first time. The tiny pieces of plastic debris are a direct result of disposal industrial waste. These plastics are commonly found in bottles, packaging, clothing, and other manufacturing processes. Scientists warn of the increased concern and are directly citing this study as a reason for needing a change in our consumption habits.
A Kentucky teacher wants all of his students to feel safe, secure, and accepted in his classroom. Because of this, he wrote this message on the board, which was met with great controversy by the parents. Tyler Morgan, an elementary music teacher, resigned from the Estill County School District over the controversial message. His resignation is currently under investigation by school officials.
Ed Sheeran recently won a high-profile copyright case over his hit song, Shape of You. Artist Sam Shokri claimed Sheeran copied a key part of their 2015 song, Oh Why. With his recent win, Sheeran hopes that he has proven himself as an artist and doesn't want to be an easy target anymore, as this isn't the first time he has faced similar claims.
Authorities warn of aggressive foxes roaming the streets of the D.C. metropolitan area. There have been reports of 9 separate attacks over the last few days. Officials stress that animal bites should be taken seriously. An adult female fox has been captured on Capitol Hill and humanly euthanized to be tested for rabies. Several baby foxes were also found and removed from the area.
What's new on the Waffle House menu? Shoes! Adidas and Waffle House are teaming up to create a special edition golf shoe in honor of the 86th Annual Masters Tournament. This partnership comes as the tournament is hosted in Georgia, where Waffle House is headquartered. The shoes are an off-white color to resemble batter and feature brown stripes to resemble a toasted waffle. The shoes are now available for purchase on the Adidas website.
After the break, ETV News' Hannah Lansbury brings us a spring sports update. We'll be right back.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe. Here we go, the butterfly. Ready? Ooh.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps. Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, Take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Welcome back, everyone. Hannah Lasbury is here with a look at what's up in Eastern sports. Hey, Hannah.
Thanks, guys. Hello, and welcome to this week's Sports Update. I'm Hannah Lasbury. Let's take a look at what happened in ECSU sports from this past weekend. Eastern baseball has continued to dominate their season as they moved up, being ranked second in the Division III baseball nationwide, playing both Plymouth State and Trinity College earlier this week. Taking a look at their game against Trinity on Tuesday, it was a tough battle for ECSU, leading to extra innings to get the win. Senior catcher Matt Malcolm recorded his 100th career hit win with a first inning double. Malcolm also went 4 for 5 with 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, and scoring once. Other highlights from the game consisted of senior second baseman Noah Plantamuro leading off with the inning with a hit by pitch before junior shortstop Zach Donahue, senior outfielder Ryan Bagdasarian, and senior third baseman Luke Broadhurst recorded back-to-back-to-back singles. Broadhurst was also recognized as the NCAA Division III Hitter of the Week, batting .700 and slugging .900 in a 3-0 week. Moving on to softball, the team had a doubleheader against UMass Dartmouth this past weekend. Senior All-American Morgan Bolduc moved into 5th place all-time with her 16th career shutout with a 3-hitter and 4-0 opening win. In the second game, first-year sophomore transfer Alexis Michon, the Little East leader in all wins strikeouts, improved to a 9-1 with her 6th straight win and a 5-1 victory. With Eastern leading a 3-1, with Eastern leading a 3-1. A 4th inning home run by UMass Dartmouth catcher Lindsey Chabuk spoiled Micon's bid for a 3rd shutout in 10 starts. The number 8 nationally ranked ECSU softball team went on to a Little East Conference sweep of UMass Dartmouth, and Eastern took the sweeping winning 4-0 in the first game and 5-1 in the second. Be sure to keep up with all daily content regarding spring sports and Eastern athletics by following our social media page at ECSU Athletics or by going to our website, GoWarriorAthletics.com. Our streams, as always, are powered by Sidearm Sports and Blue Frame Technology. That's all for ECSU Sports this week. Back to you guys.
That wraps up this edition of ETV News. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From Director Manara Nani, producer Megan Slinsky, and the entire ETV News staff, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time, Eastern.